Let's take a look at a sample day of training for this range of motion individualized programming client. Each part or each day of training will begin with a certain part, which is your dynamic movements. This is where we take the movements we're going to be performing in that session, simplify them, move our body in a dynamic range through those positions we'll be looking for each joint. Then onto pre-exercise mobilization work. You can see there are some demo videos here. That pre-exercise mobilization work basically acts to start to loosen or release some of those structures that may cause suboptimal movement patterns. Again, there are demo videos of all of the movements we have in our programming, pre and post exercise, and during the actual training session itself. From there into pre-exercise activation work, where we turn on some of those underactive structures or muscle groups. The individual will then build to their working weights, and then into training itself. You can see the first piece of training for this day is relative strength. We use relative strength as a term to describe the ability or the strength of an individual to move their body weight through space, as opposed to an external load like a barbell or a dumbbell. In this relative strength session, you can see the individual is performing 5 sets of 5 strict bar dips with added weight if possible, with assistance if not, and also 5 strict overhand chest to bar pull-ups, alternating each 2 minutes. You can see also there are the full demo videos here with a full example of how to perform each of these movements in that training session. You will also see the session notes that we have. The session notes are very detailed notes which tell the individual much more about that session. You can see here things like the programming science behind the session itself, the health and body composition benefits, the performance benefits, strategy, how the session should feel, scaling guidelines, and the common mistakes. If we go back to the sessions, we can see the next piece of training is a heavy loaded conditioning session, taking heavy loads and at the same time training cardiorespiratory endurance and work capacity. So you can see here we have some descending ladders with increasing weights of a behind the neck push jerk and a squat snatch. Again, full session notes and videos of each of the movements in this session. From there, this individual has an EIP, which is an exercise improvement program, a very small 5-minute piece of training. This individual has got a little bit of weakness through their midline. So this is a floor position conditioning session, working on things like hollow holds and arch holds, effectively lower back, hip, and abdominal strength. From there, to finish off the day's training, post-exercise stabilization work, to turn on some of those underactive muscles maybe we've identified during the training itself, and finishing off the day with post-exercise mobilization work, again, identifying and using the movements from that day as a diagnostic tool to say these structures were overactive or tight. Now let's prescribe some work to do for this individual to correct these problems.